What's up, world? It's your boy Tommy Mavin. I just came to rep a 10 and spit on this whole situation with the free agency in the NBA. Because as we all know, LeBron has rigged the league, you know what I'm saying, so he can get the top tier players like Wesley Matthews and KCP and Montrezl Harrell. We know he's completely rigged the NBA. I mean, who you have to be an idiot to not see this, why would Montrezl Harrell, who everybody knew was leaving the Clippers, choose to go to the Lakers? I mean, that makes no sense. I mean, why would Wesley Matthews, a guy who everybody knew was going to get the league veteran, around the veteran minimum, sign with the team that just won a championship? When he could get a little more and play for a sucky team. It just doesn't make any sense. Why would Marc Gasol, who's at the end of his career, and brother used to play for the Lakers, choose to play for the Lakers? It makes no sense whatsoever. Why would KCP, who could get paid more because the Lakers have his bird rights, go to the Lakers? You know what I'm saying? You got to see past the nuances and the bullshit they try to push on you. I mean, does it sound as stupid when I say it in that way as it is when these people bring it up, trying to act like they somehow reimagined the wheel? It's like, dude, seriously, nothing about this free agency period screams LeBron James and Rich Paul own the NBA. They got Wesley Matthews, KCP, who was gonna re-sign with the Lakers because they had his bird rights and could pay him whatever they wanted to pay him. The Montrezl Harrell, who everybody knew was leaving the Clippers. Montrezl Harrell is a sixth man. He's not like Serge Ibaka. He's not like all these other people. He has a specific role that touts him being a person, energy giver coming off the bench. He has to be in a very specific situation in which he helps another team, a team that is looking for a second piece or a third piece. It's not going to go after Montrezl Harrell because Montrezl Harrell is good in spot duty. He's not good all the time. You know what I'm saying? So that's like that's like paying a boatload to get Lou Williams to be your starting point guard. It's like, no, I would pay a lot. I would pay more than a pretty penny to get Lou Williams, but I'm not gonna pay Lou Williams a bunch of money to be my starting point guard because that's not his job. He's not a good starting point guard. He's a good reserve point guard, meaning he backs up people. Montrezl Harrell is a good reserve big man. He's not. He's too limited, which is what ended up happening with the Jazz against the Clippers. They tried to play him like he was a starter, and he's not a starter. He's too limited defensively to be a starter, but he's good in spot duty. So Montrezl Harrell was only going to get a certain amount of money regardless, because he's a big name, but he's not going to fit with every team. So you have to find a team that's going to pay him enough money and be in a situation. He's making $19 million over 2 years, which I think is a pretty good thing. They were saying, well, the Clippers could have paid him more. He didn't want to play for the Clippers. Everybody knew he didn't want to play for the Clippers. I wouldn't want to play for them either. If they say that your organization was treating Paul George and Kawhi like filet mignon, and treating the rest of them like they were backyard burglars. Like they didn't respect the rest of the team. So even though they were largely as pivotal to their season as Kawhi was. So Montrezl Harrell like bump it. He was signed Clutch Sports anyway, so there was always a good possibility that he could be going to the Lakers, right? But everybody's saying, well, they underpaid Montrezl Harrell. But if anybody would have gave Montrezl Harrell $20 million a year, people would have been like, wait, overpaid for him. So I think they paid around. I think he may have been able to get maybe 2 or 3 more million over the longevity of the contract, but it's a short contract, so it's only 2 years. So if you're talking about him signing a 2-year contract with someone else thinking that he's going to get something like $15 million a year, I don't think he would have got that anywhere else. I think maybe he might have got 10 to 11, maybe somewhere else, but you're giving up that much money because you're playing in the LA market and you're playing for the Lakers. You're not playing for the Clippers. You're going to be playing for the Lakers, which means you're going to make a whole lot more, way more money off the field than you did on it. And so, which in my opinion is like, people are it's a testament to how good AD and LeBron are, right? When somebody says you've stacked your deck by giving AD and LeBron, now let's point this out. The Brooklyn Nets have Spencer Dinwiddie, Karis LeVert, Joe Thomas, Crabbe. What's that dude with the afro, that big center? DeAndre Jordan. They got all these guys who are great players. These aren't great players. These potential all-star players, right? Dinwiddie's trying to get off there now. Spencer Dinwiddie is a beast. Karis LeVert is a beast, right? They didn't need Kyrie Irving. If they would have just put Kevin Durant on that team with who they already had, that team would have been ridiculous regardless. I think Kyrie Irving just messes shit up. I don't even know why if I'm the Brooklyn Nets, it's like, look, dude, I either say I'll take you by yourself, but I'm not taking him because he's gonna mess up the dynamic of the group. Because these guys are great players, and now you bringing this guy in who is just a ISO basketball player who playing alongside Kevin Durant, and he's gonna be taking the majority of shots, and he's not particularly a good efficient scorer. So, but regardless, I mean, nobody says that that's stacking the deck because that's against LeBron, right? The Clippers had the same type of team the Lakers got this year, but that wasn't stacking the deck against LeBron. The Golden State Warriors, even though they lost Clay, still have an abundance of talent on their team. Nobody accuses them of stacking the deck, right? The Suns have a good team. They drafted all of them. They have a good team. Nobody accuses them of stacking the deck, right? But anytime LeBron gets the slightest bit, because that's a testament to how good he is. If he gets anything, see, they stacking the deck. They want LeBron to win a championship. Wait, let me get this straight. You're saying the team he's on is trying to give him the best players to help him win. I am so confused as to how you think the front office works. So you're saying that they should say, LeBron, you know what? We're going to test your ass this year. What we're going to do is we're going to trade Rondo. We're going to bring in Isaiah Thomas. We're going to get rid of AD. Clearly, we're not going to pay him. I mean, it's making it too easy for us to win a championship. Why should we do that? So we're going to get rid of AD. We're going to bring in possibly Tristan Thompson. You know what I'm saying? Because we need to test you. You know, no, that's not his job. The job. You get mad at him because his front office. And let's put this on the table. They didn't really do shit. They brought in Wesley Matthews, in which they had to give up Rondo. You know what I'm saying? They couldn't even keep Rondo. They brought in Wesley Matthews. Trez also came in. But it's like, really, it's Montrezl Harrell, Wesley Matthews, and they re-signed KCP, and they brought in an aging Marc Gasol. It's like, you think that they brought, in 2018 Warriors, in 2017 Warriors. It's like, where do these people get their mindset from? Oh, it's stacked against. They're the same people. Skip Bayless, most importantly, I saw him. I don't even follow him on Twitter, but for some reason, every time he does it, like somebody on my Twitter either comments on something he says or not likes it, but mostly just comment on something he says. But they'll comment on something he said, and then I read his comments like, this dude's a lunatic. Like, who even listens to this dude? With any type of objectivity, listen to this dude talk and think he's not just batshit crazy. Right? He come 5 minutes earlier, he's saying the league is rigged for LeBron. Then the Clippers signed Serge Ibaka, who he thought was going to go to the Lakers, but he ended up going to the Clippers. Now all of a sudden the Clippers are, it's done. It's done. They lost Trez Harrell, but they got Serge Ibaka. But what about what you just said, you dumbass? You just said that it was stacked against the league was stacked. You just act like you never said it, and then turns around and says, see, now the Clippers are gonna win. First of all, let's get this straight. If Serge Ibaka was gonna help them win a championship, he had enough talent on the Raptors to do that, right? Serge Ibaka is a good player. He's a good player. He can shoot the three marginally. He can he doesn't have much of a back to the basket game. I guess they're gonna try to play him and Zubac together. I don't know how that's gonna work because they, even though Serge Ibaka can stretch the floor, he's a stretch 5. If he's a 4, then he's a downgrade from what you had in Patterson, I think it was. So I don't see him being an upgrade if they're going to play him at the 4. If they play him at the 5, then what that does is that forces someone else, a smaller 4. You know what I'm saying? Who they going to put at the 4? Because Trez is gone. So who you going to put at the 4 to utilize this stretch offense? You know what I mean? You can go with PG and Kawhi. And I guess they're going to put Patrick Beverly at point guard again. I mean, you damn well might as well just start Lou Will. You know what I'm saying? And just hope that maybe Patrick Beverly can do something. But Lou Will is like a terrible defender. So, okay, so we're going to put Patrick Beverly in at point guard. Shooting guard, they lost Shamet. So, I mean, it's robbing Peter to pay Paul. You know what I'm saying? With Serge Ibaka, they're not going to be able to add any new people because they don't have no money. Right? And because they don't have any money, they can't really add anybody to their mix. So you really just got Zubac. They didn't add the Achilles heel of their team was the fact that they had no real person who was big enough to stop Djokovic. I guess Serge helps him out because he's quicker and bigger. But who's gonna stop Millsap? Who's gonna stop Murray and all of, in my opinion, I don't think they really did much in the way of doing that. I mean, Serge Ibaka can shoot the 3, yes, and he's a great perimeter defender for a big man. I'm not trying to underscore what Serge Ibaka is. He's a great player. But they act like they signed freaking Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Oh, it's over now. The Clippers gonna win. Okay, and I told y'all this last year. I don't see how that works. Serge Ibaka worked well because he had Kyle Lowry, a person who can get him the ball. He's not going to work well with Patrick Beverly, PG, Kawhi Leonard, and Zubac. I don't. Who's going to get him the ball? ISO PG or ISO Kawhi, or doesn't do shit Patrick Beverly but stand at the 3-point line? How is he going to be involved in the offense when there's nobody who can pass him the ball? When Kyle Lowry made Serge Ibaka a lot better of an offensive threat than he is otherwise. Because Kyle Lowry is a smart player. He's gonna draw the defense in and find players. And not, if he doesn't do that, he's gonna put the offense. He's a true point guard. You can't do that shit with Patrick Beverly. So now you got a guy who yes, he brings you in and he helps you defensively, but you lost offensive power because you had to give away Shamet to make room to sign a guy like that. So you got rid of Shamet, who I thought was huge to them last year, because he was the guy who could come in and make up for the holes that make up for them offensive. He was one of the few players they had outside of Kawhi and PG that can play on both sides of the ball. Now you got rid of him, and to be honest, I just don't even think they got anybody to replace them. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be weird to watch that and try to see how they go, because I think it's gonna be a train wreck. But like I said before, I'll come back later and I'll talk longer about this stuff, more than I did today. I know it's a lot of stuff I left out, a lot of people I left out, but I'm really gonna hit on that, and we'll talk about it later, y'all. But as far as right now, I'm just coming in and dropping to give y'all a quick overview of what I think. All right, y'all. Peace.